When large trucks are involved in multi-vehicle accidents, it is more likely to be the occupants of other vehicles that are injured or killed rather than the truck occupants. Nonetheless, like any large vehicle, garbage trucks when involved in an accident can cause serious injuries to workers, pedestrians and other vehicles. Because they operate primarily within city limits and in heavily populated areas, accidents that involve these trucks usually involve significant property damage and pedestrian and bicycle injuries. The news clips below show several accidents involving garbage trucks. The phenomenon of jackknifing can create utter disaster for trucks and any nearby vehicles. Dangerous cargo. In addition to heavy cargo, commercial trucks also frequently transport hazardous materials, including chemicals that can spill out in an accident and cause both environmental and health concerns. The National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety (NIOSH) has excellent publications on ways to avoid injury and death from moving sanitation vehicles. For example, some people have lost thousands of dollars because they did not understand the interplay between health insurance plans, managed care plans and retirement plans. These vehicles should have an optional on-off switch for the passenger side airbag. These two factors place the occupants of passenger vehicles at increased risk of severe injury or death in accidents involving tractor-trailers. No matter which of the above factors led to a truck accident involving you and a CMV, you are entitled to complete compensation. These accident details are very important, especially when estimating the compensation claims. In some cases, both drivers are at fault, in which cases a percentage of the blame is assigned to each party. If you are found to be partially or entirely at fault, you may receive tickets as the result of your accident. Regardless of whether or not you are found to be at fault, you will likely have to go through drug and alcohol testing immediately after the accident through a company of your employer's choosing. The lack of road sense by the drivers and other users of the road have further complicated the matters. Many trucking companies have policies in place for when a crash occurs. It's necessary to understand what federal and state law and laws acquire play, or what standards each vehicle was imagined to meet at the time of the crash before you'll be able to determine WHO is probably going to be held liable. After the accident happens, the police and insurance companies of the drivers involved will decide who was at fault. The raw data in the form of accident report forms (ARFs) were collected from Dhaka Metropolitan Police (DMP). Abstract: this report contains descriptions of the causes and consequences of the accidents involving cars in a representative sample of road traffic accidents to which an ambulance was called in metropolitan Adelaide. The consequences of these real-world variations for the optimization of seat belts, using intelligent restraint system technology, will be presented. If the test shows that you had any unauthorized drugs or alcohol in your system at the time of the accident, immediate termination is possible. In every garbage truck accident, it's essential to hire an experienced truck accident lawyer as soon as possible so an adequate investigation can be started before evidence evaporates. If you or a loved one has suffered harm as a result of a car accident, Georgia law entitles you to seek compensation for damages in civil court. An attorney familiar with truck accident litigation knows how to maximize that compensation and ensure you receive every cent you're owed. When you combine this with high speeds, the chance of having an accident is even higher. Your former employer may even bring charges against you for the damage you caused while under the influence. A trucker's employer might set unrealistic deadlines that lead to drivers staying on the road far past the designated number of hours deemed safe for travel and optimal alertness. This can be a fairly lengthy process, particularly if your employer or the other party involved in the accident decide to go to court over the accident. Rear-end collisions can lead to serious injuries. The wheels lock and the rear end of the truck spins toward the front end. Jackknifing occurs when the rear tires of a truck lock in position, making it impossible for the truck to operate. You cannot see around him for the same reason, making it impossible for you to know when to slow or stop your vehicle. In other words, the truck folds in much the same manner as a jackknife or pocket knife. The U.S. Department of Labor chronicles the many types of garbage truck injuries that occur in the United States. Garbage truck inspection is one of the primary ways of avoiding serious accidents. One of the first things to check on is whether the garbage truck has been properly inspected every